You remember Jakku in Arcade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why couldn't Jakku just have been tattooing?
I know.
Or better yet, why couldn't Ray have come from any other planet other than a desert?
Yeah. I guess that's their own prophecy. All the time.
It's just a bit...
I mean, that kind of stuff is never going to be explained. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, but, you know, even so...
Yeah, no, I don't like it either.
It's like we've got enough, we've got enough deserts, you know?
Definitely, yeah.
Like, if you're gonna make new Star Wars movies, do something new with them.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's the exact same plot as Force Awakens, meaning it's basically New Hope Redux.
Yeah.
That's fine, but tried and tested story with some new visuals. Or tried and tested visuals with a new story. You know, do something.
I totally agree with you. But do you think that's because of the way people reacted to the prequels? Because the prequels introduced several new things.
I think it almost certainly is, but I think that's a misunderstanding of why people reacted that way to the prequels.
Yeah, I totally agree as well. Yeah. I think they just wanted to be rather safe than sorry, but I think they were too safe.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I totally understand that instinct.
Yeah.
And that's why I say, if you want to keep the story as it is in The Force Awakens, which is basically a New Hope plus another one, then that's fine, you know, like, we can live with that as the starting point.
Yeah.
As the starting point for a new trilogy.
Yeah.
But don't make that all it is.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Ooh, that's it. Nice. Nice. Nice, well done.
I mean, maybe Star Wars fans are just impossible to please.
I mean, you're never going to please everyone.
No, but with Star Wars sometimes it seems like you can't please anyone.
Yeah, yeah. But do you think it's because I think I've said this before, but the original trilogy movies, they came out as as a trilogy, and for a while there weren't really any other Star Wars movies.
Well, for a long while.
Yeah. So
about 20 years or so.
They almost became like a fable, like a story you would tell, you know, to your children or something like that. And it wasn't really. I don't know how much expanded universe stuff came out at that point. But I don't know how many people would have taken notice of that either.
I mean, a lot of the EU books were like New York Times bestsellers.
Okay.
I mean, people always misinterpret that. You don't actually have to sell a lot of books to get on the New York Times bestseller list because it is so compartmentalized.
Right. Okay.
But no one ever puts that on the blurb.
Yeah. But it just seems like they were kind of, because there wasn't that much like mainstream stuff added to it. The stories of the original trilogy sort of elevated to this kind of almost.
What the shit?
This is truncheon.
Fucking OP arsehole.
To this kind of almost celestial position, you know, like a fable, you know. So maybe to that extent, maybe it was almost going to be really hard to please people. Because people put so much on the original trilogy.
I mean, the original trilogy is definitely good, but it's also very simple.
Yes.
What the fucking fuck?
It's tough. It's very tough.
That is bullshit.
Yeah. So L1 and R1 is your scanner, L1 is your grenade, R1 is health and speed. Oh yeah, so you can't. Sorry, yeah, you can't zoom in. It's a secondary attack with this
What?
weapon. Yeah. So there you go.
Oh, fuck off.
Sorry, I totally forgot about that.
Can't zoom in.
Yeah.
What?
Well, the rate of fire is really fast. This weapon is very accurate, so you don't necessarily need to zoom in. I think that's their thinking, their logic.
Okay, yeah, that is a high rate of fire.
Yeah, they actually improved it. They increased it as well recently too. It was already very fast. So, yeah. If you press down on the D-pad, you can change the side of the camera as well.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. So, good stuff. I do think it's one of the better designs. The Sith Trooper. Though that's not really saying much. Nice.
Ah, shit.
Nice.
No.
How does it feel so far?
Very good.
Mm.
I'm liking this guy a lot.
Yeah, I like it.
Scanning targets.
You know, are they supposed to actually be elite stormtroopers, or are they just the ones on Exegol?
They're the ones on Exegol,
They're
but
children of the cultists, aren't they? Which is gross to imagine, but
they're the ones on Exegol, but then by virtue of the influence of the Sith, they are supposed to be elite.
right.
I mean, there were sort of Sith... I mean, this is not a unique concept, like this has been in Legends
Okay.
before,
Yeah.
the idea of Sith troopers. Usually they're cybernetically enhanced and sort of force dominated.
Well, there are Sith troopers in the Old Republic, aren't there?
Yeah, but that's just troopers
They're
for
just-
the Sith Empire.
Okay. They don't use force powers.
No, and to be fair, these ones don't either.
Yeah.
But Sith troopers in the Empire were always fucking Christ. Sith troopers of Palpatine's
Mm.
empires
Yeah.
were always going to be force dominated.
Right.
They were even more so than normal Stormies.
What do you mean by force dominated?
Extensions of his will.
Okay. Okay.
And I mean, in the Dark Empire series, so the comic series, the books,
Is that the one? Is that one with four?
no,
Yeah,
it's the one with the Eclipse.
okay.
It's the one with the Eclipse and the Galaxy Gun, and where Luke gets corrupted.
Hmm.
It's the one where Palpatine comes back from the dead.
Okay.
In that one, there were droid TIE fighters.
Droids TIE fighters.
Droid TIE fighters, but they weren't droids, they were TIE fighters piloted by the extracted brain of a TIE ace from the Civil War.
Oh, Christ.
And there were...
So all of them were piloted by the brain of this one guy?
No. So each TIE had a brain in it.
Okay.
So instead of a droid brain, it was a human brain that had been extracted.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So it had the cybernetic...
Jesus.
it had all the benefits of both a droid fighter and a human fighter.
God.
The reaction times of a droid and the instincts
Yeah.
of a human,
Yeah.
or a organic, I should say,
I see.
and the ability to be influenced by Palpatine's mastery of the Force.
I see.
So it would be loyal and all the rest of it.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, nice. Yeah, the Sith Trooper has a kick for some reason as well.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
But And the Dark Troopers that were introduced in that arc were not like the Dark Troopers of Ron Mock's time.
Right, yeah.
They were they were cybernetically. They were cyborgs, basically.
Oh, okay.
They were troopers in armored shells.
Because in Battlefront 2005, they explained the Dark Troopers there by saying they're Phase Zero Dark Troopers, and they were meant to be clone troopers, but with cybernetics as well. I don't know how much people believe that, or just like a bullshit excuse for Battlefront 2 2005, but that's what Wikipedia says.
So the point is, none of this is new.
Yeah.
And in many ways, these Sith troopers are a lot less horrifying than the Dark Empire. But then the Dark Empire was basically the Star Wars equivalent of a horror film.
Right. Yeah. Nice. Nice.
And of course the Dark Empire had other super weapons. I mean, it had the Eclipse class Star Destroyer, it had the Galaxy Gun, it had the World Devastators, which are more imaginative than anything fucking Abrams has ever done.
Maybe less derivative. Let's watch out. Oh, lucky.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've lost the train of my thought. I was just talking about the Dark Empire and how much better than the sequels it is. I mean, the basic point is the original trilogy was good, but the original trilogy was very, very basic. George Lucas pretty much got a copy of The Hero's Journey and The Hero with a Thousand Faces by Joseph Campbell, and used it as a script. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's incredibly basic. And it makes a compelling film, because you have the highs, you have the lows, you have the emotional moments, and it all hangs together. And even though Lucas's dialogue isn't always stellar, even in the original trilogy, it hangs together well enough. And he's still modest enough to have people like Irving Kershner direct for him. And the effects were beyond ahead of their time. I mean, Industrial Light and Magic and Skywalker Sound were created for those films, and it shows. Like, it's still stunning. Some of the miniature work and the matte painting work that went into the original trilogy for Star Wars is stunning, but then the CGI that went into the prequel series is equally stunning.
So, not to interrupt you, but what do you think of that map?
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
The Sith Trooper.
Yeah, he plays well.
Yeah.
Got the lack of a zoom, got a bit of getting used to.
Yeah. Oh, good.
But yeah, a lot of fun.
Let me just record that.